Welcome to Halftime Heroes with the latest sports news from around the Mornington Peninsula. With Adam Kelly, Peter Susevich, Neil Craig, Lee McQuillan, Luke Harris and Chris Gamble. Take it away, Adam.
G'day sports fans and welcome to another episode of the Halftime Heroes. We are sitting on episode 7 and what has been a very exciting round of football with some, a few, not unrealistic, but a few surprises in there that we'll get to through the Division 1 and Division 2 football shows. But thanks for joining the Halftime Heroes yet again. And thank you to 3MP and Ace Radio Network for lending their studio again. It's always a pleasure to have a plan B because the chief, Peter Susevich himself, is over just sorting out some civil things going on with a couple of the gangs over there. But I have heard that everything is sorted, and he's going to be joining us back in Sus's Garage next week. So he's
back to the treats.
Back to the treats. Back
good as we got.
Is this what you brought in?
As good as we got.
All right, okay. Freebies.
If you do, of course, want to get involved in the Halftime Heroes, we have been absolutely loving the involvement from the Halftime Hero family. Hit us up on email at halftimeheroes.mpfnl at gmail.com. A little bit off my game tonight. And then get in touch with socials. We are loving the interaction, Will. And then we're going to come up with a little segment maybe later throughout the year. We'll read, it's kind of like a Sam Newman's mailbox for the Halftime Hero family that remember the footy show, the great footy show on the Thursday night on Channel 9. So we might inject a little bit of that and really get you involved in the show. As I said, there's a lot to talk about coming right up. But as I do each and every week, I go around the room and back in the 3MP studios, of course, is Luke the Spook Harris, senior coach of the Bayswater Football Netball Club. Welcome back to you, Spook.
Hello, Adam. How are you, mate?
Oh, mate, I'm tip-top. Thanks for asking.
That's great.
Kamish, always,
Adam,
mate. Always a pleasure.
And thank you for being here after some unsavoury news today, mate. Very sad to hear that of a family member. But
thanks, Kamish.
Your dedication to us is very much
you're
appreciated,
gonna make
mate.
me cry,
And the family.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. The commish rang me earlier today and said, what are we going to do? And I said, no, the show must go on.
Yes.
The Halftime Hero family need the Halftime Hero Spook. So that's what it's all about. And, of course, joining us as a regular, and we're loving it in season 2025, the senior coach of the Somerville Football Netball Club, Chris Gammers Gamble. Welcome to 3MP, mate.
Thanks, Adam. Thanks, boys. Yeah, nice to be here. New surrounds.
Yes.
A little bit more professional than the garage, is it? Or no, I don't want to knock the garage, but
the garage is home.
I thought we locked the doors over in Mount Martha. We locked the doors in Mornington.
Well, we are.
We've got more to say on that later, right?
Yeah, there's some unsavoury. There's some unsavoury characters getting around here. Don't you worry about that. I think we've left the door open because we do have a very special guest.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sorry
Bit
that
of a surprise.
Oh, you want to leave it as a surprise,
Oh,
or you want to go off the
yeah,
top?
I think no, I don't mind. You're the host.
Okay.
We just follow.
All right. Well, no, I'll say it. So, joining the Coach's Corner is going to be a little bit different. Little bit different this time. We've got this man coming up in a couple of weeks because we want to hear what's happening at Mount Eliza because there is stuff happening at Mount Eliza, Spook, and we want to get Ricky J in. So thanks for your offer, Ricky J. But you have been put back on the pine because coming up through the Coach's Corner, we're very excited. He's the talk of the town at the moment. A little bit off the left of centre, isn't it? Because we're going back to the Frankston Blues. I'm going to be talking to young Blake Jackson, the Frankston Blues superstar, and the Josh Giddey eater. Yeah. Just eats up Josh Giddey. Just eats him up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Shoots 50 on the bloke.
Yeah, raise the bat.
Scores. Raise
the bat.
He retired.
What are you doing basketball? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it Chicago Bulls he plays for?
It is, Josh Giddey.
Does you know?
So he's
you know a bit about him, don't you?
I don't follow the NBA.
Okay.
I don't follow the NBA, mate.
No, he's
it's just a whole lot of prima donnas running around.
He's about to sign a very, very large contract because he's had a breakout season. And
250. It's going to go from 15 million, your sort of money, Gammers, to 250 million.
Divided by a million.
That's
250 million a year.
That's going to come up a little bit later too.
Yeah, of course.
That's a lot of millions. That's a lot of.
It's too many millions for one person, isn't it?
That's a lot of millions.
What's that? $1.5 million what's that? A month?
That's a lot.
Is it over a period of time, or is that a year?
It's insane.
It's
What it is.
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
It's
But good on him.
absolutely
Good on him.
good on him.
20 million a month.
It's not bad, is it?
$20 million a month.
Couldn't stand it.
Reckon our league would have trouble with that, with the points and the.
Oh,
I wonder if there's a point
there's a few
system.
clubs that spend about that, I reckon.
Devon would be up to
And there
25
it is.
That's just this year.
Frawley.
Hey,
Bing,
we're,
bing.
we're recording, yeah?
Yeah, forgot. Stuff.
Sleepy Joe forgot.
Yeah, he's gone.
Well, let's get straight into it, boys. What was Division 1 football? And round 4, we saw some expected results and some not so expected results. We did choose as the halftime heroes. We chose Edith Vale, Aspendale v Manaliza. So as we always do, we'll leave that game until last. But let's jump straight into it. We saw. Oh, let me just the old laptop's just gone back on me a little bit there. So we saw Lang Warren taking on Frankston YCW. We had Josh Beard in, and g'day to you, Beardy. Mate, great results from the show last week. You're a superstar to have on, so I appreciate your input. But then they went down at Lloyd Park by 44 points, 94 played 50. Would you say, Gammers, that YCW may be just hitting their straps?
Yeah, I would. Probably a bit of a reality check for Lang Warren. They've got over the line a couple of times really close, played good, mature opposition in Frankston YC, and I think we would have probably predicted that result before the season started, wouldn't we? So really that surprised me.
100%. Yeah. What we wouldn't have predicted is Langy being 4 and zip.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
yeah, that, so Lammy goes forward and kicks 4. Luke?
Big Lammy, he's in form, the big
Yeah,
boy.
he is. He's
He's
forward.
a handful, isn't he? Yeah, he's a bit of a barometer for me. Like when he gets going, they're up and about. Lammy's a good player. Great fella too.
I'm just trying to, boys. I've just lost network connection. But
And
I'm
they've got
just
some
trying
players
to-
back too. I mean, Ned Cale's back now, and you know that was a big hit to them in the
Yeah,
pre-season,
yeah,
wasn't it?
definitely.
So
Yeah.
you bring him back in, makes it look a bit different. Maxie Williams playing for him, ex-VFL fella. It looks like a pretty well-balanced side at the moment, the YC team.
Is Ned Cahill the first 7-pointer?
Yeah, I was going to comment that. You don't see many, do you?
Have you ever seen a 7-pointer?
Anyway, I've certainly seen ex-AFL boys that go on about 3 points. So I'm not too sure what someone just said.
Yeah, I know. I've never seen a 7-pointer though. Never.
he's
More to come
worth
of that in the Div 2
double
football
plus.
You can lead a horse to walk, whatever, you can't make it drink, all right?
Work that out, Abe.
And he doesn't get in the best, so they got an upside.
Well, on that, boys,
Yeah, absolutely.
thanks for covering me there. But Bryce Rutherford, Jack Orchard, Joel Bateman, Jaden Jakubenko, and Slemdorfer.
He's playing well, old Slevendorfer.
Slav, the one we spoke about last
I
week.
love him, absolutely love him.
17.
Sounds like a Harry Potter house sort of.
Yeah, it does. Slevendorfen.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
I come from Slevendorfen on a broomstick flying around the room.
Get him on.
Kicking the ball
Sounds
around.
like he's flying around a broomstick.
Scrimmage, what was it called? Grimmage or scrimmage?
Slevendorf. Always with Langy playing on 29 points, YCW on 39, and the best 4 them were Brenton Lambert, Luca Goonan, Painter, Bryce, and Mead in the best for them. Close game. Up until really, I suppose, YC kicked away Spook in the third quarter.
Yeah, just got the put the foot down, the big boys. They're a big, powerful team, YC.
Yeah.
Behind the ball, they defend well, and if they get their transition game going from halfback, they are very
Yeah. Who was the big ass recruit they're going to get?
Are we
Shim.
saying?
Shim.
Oh, is that it?
No, it's
No
yeah,
Shim.
He's coming.
No, and no Shim.
and no Shim.
Shimless.
That's a big
Yeah,
in.
it's funny. So her name is Remiss, and I'm so sorry. I'll say it 100,000 times next week. But the lovely YCW president, who's a big fan of the show,
Yes,
please
yes.
help me find her number, her name.
Yes.
Neil's got her number.
Yes, I actually haven't got her number, Steph. Don't worry about that. I haven't got anyone's number.
Just joking.
No one's. Too old for that shit. Fucking heart attack.
He can't. Steph, he can't even handle you.
He
He's
can't
not
fuck
going
Jeez.
anywhere else.
Jeez, he's fluffed it, isn't he?
Oh, I'm not
Hey, Spook, when you get to that age, you got to put a couple of paddle pole sticks to it, mate, and just put it in a stint so he's not doing it.
Chopper chopsticks.
Chopper sticks. No, the Magnum ones, just the short little Magnum ones.
Shut up.
Oh, fucking hell. Okay, so the next game that we saw play out was Mornington taking on Dramana at Alexandra Park. Dramana getting the job done there by 21 points. I was following this game online, and I reckon Mornington would be pretty happy with that, Spook. Have you had a chance to speak to Macca? But I reckon he would have been pretty happy with
I
that.
did have a bit of a chat to Macca just via text. He was
15-3,
yeah.
played 17-12.
Yeah, it's a bloody good effort.
Yeah, it's a really good effort.
They've found a bit of form. I think they've turned a corner. Really great, but Dramana, they're gonna keep rolling on.
Yeah.
They found a bit of form too. But great effort, one under Lee and Newey and the boys down there because a bit of a rough start.
Yeah, exactly.
and they look like they're going a lot better than Red Hill.
Yes.
Neil's mate's team.
Yes.
So
No,
You're
we're
absolutely right there. Kai Owens in the best for Mornington, Payne, Galvin, Rowler and Jones. And they played with them 39 points. And for Dramana was,
Gertz.
Gertz-a-thon.
Billy Gertz, Sam Fowler, Josh Gertz and Ryan Morrison. It was a Gertz affair, but that's what happens when there's 82 of them in there.
Yeah.
And as I said, played on 29 points.
Well done.
Very well done to Dramana
Like
there.
that.
How's the goal kicking? 10 straight at three-quarter time.
it's ridiculous.
Mornington.
Could that be right?
I reckon I might get Lee down to my club.
Yeah, I reckon you go to a lot of clubs, to be honest.
But to 12-10,
that's unbelievable, isn't it?
there's a story in that, though, isn't there, that game, well done to Mornington, but that game's probably not as close as it looks on paper.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, we've got 29 scoring shots to 18, so it could have been.
Yeah,
A
could
blowout.
have been a
But
blowout.
well done, Lee.
Yep.
Well, I mean,
playing
yeah.
a lot of youth too. It's great. Mornington are playing a lot
Yeah,
of kids.
no, absolutely.
I'm not too sure how many debutants they've had, but on their socials, it seems every week they're debuting.
No, well,
kids. That's
Macca
fantastic.
has. I
Yeah.
think he's introduced
Yes.
9 kids
That's
since
great.
round 1.
Outstanding.
I think
So they're-
around that.
That's what we're
that's
talking
what it
about.
is.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. That's what I'm talking about.
What we're talking about.
And then the next game we saw played at Eric Bell. Now this was this was a surprising one for me, boys. The Pines took on a very, very hot Rosebud Football Netball Club and went down by 12 points,
Yeah.
15-8. 98 played 13-8, 86. So 12 points. Very, very surprising result for me because Rosebud are flying at the moment, Commish.
They are 22 points up at three-quarter time, Rosebud. Put down your glasses.
Yeah.
That game is all over. And Pines come steaming home with a bit of physicality and put him away, and your old boy kicks 5.
Yeah, and he was at Somerville in the morning, had a really good chat to him. He was in a great spot. He said he was going to play a big game, Sharpie, and
Did he?
He looked good and obviously he put 5 on the board, and they kicked 7 goals, 1 goal in the last quarter.
Okay.
So
After being jumped.
Why was
early.
he down at Surrey picking up last year's remnants of
He's
his
a
play or
local.
something?
He's a local mate.
kid?
Yeah, we keep in
Okay.
touch. Yeah, he's playing a bit of Div 1, but you always keep your options open.
Do you?
Yeah.
So
Just a little...
might be the place that teams need to get after Rosebud. Looks like they're a bit suspect behind the footy.
Yes. Yeah, no,
Good
absolutely
player,
good
like a
point.
sharp, but
Yeah.
5 in it, you're kicking 5. Maybe that's where your teams are going to get after them.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and Rosebud aren't the kind of team that's going to get worried out of it either, are they?
Not physically,
Well,
no.
physically, but it
No.
kind of comes when you're 22 points behind and you come and win by. That's a huge last
There
quarter
was a bit of
by
an
5.
incident though on the weekend, wasn't
There
there?
was an incident.
Yeah, there was
an
an incident.
incident with
There was a,
Jaden Adams slung
Well done, Rowan.
one of the
Have a look.
Rosebud guys
Or wherever the umpire was.
right in front of him, broke his collarbone, and
No
play
report.
on chaps.
Yeah.
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 It's
So
just
I'll ball that up.
disgusting.
And without any play of the football, like there was the play had stopped.
No, exactly, Adam.
And then he's picked him up and just absolutely
Yeah.
slung
Does
him
it,
like
does it
he was
surprise you coming from that
No,
club?
It was off the top
absolutely
rope.
does not. So, and I mentioned it last week that they would beat them around the contest. Now, Blake Kuipers, who's been firing on everything at the moment, kicks 1. So tell
Yeah.
me that he wasn't paid a bit of attention.
Oh, yeah.
He
Well,
would have been paid.
Been dropping
plenty
all the
of
way back
attention.
over him.
Well, it's the first time this year where the scoring shots are similar in a game. So it's, like you said, Spook, Rosebud tested for the first time. That's the headline
Yeah.
behind the ball.
Yeah.
Yep.
Behind the ball.
Yep, absolutely. Lockie Sharp named in the best. Russell Gabriel, we did mention that man's name, all of 48 years old.
He is so hard to move out of the way. He takes it out of the.
Unbelievable.
He's a handful. He gets as many clearances as the mids because
And
he
he
just
would've-
takes it out of the ruck. He's hard to stop.
Spooky would
Good
have been.
football.
He would have been on 3 different ruck.
Yeah,
He would have been on
exactly.
3 rucks.
Yeah, he would have gone up against every one of them.
Correct.
Yeah, he's a big power.
What a
He's a
man,
beast.
and named in the best.
Yeah, good on
So well done to him.
player.
Olden, Summer, and Boyle, and for Rosebud it was Callum White, Mitchell White, Kirk Dixon, Blake Carosella, and Billy Hartung.
Billy
So
Hartung.
with a
Well, some of their good players have played a good game of footy and lost.
correct.
So that
And
really,
that's what I
the
exactly
Frankston-
where I went with.
Frankston YCs are looking at that going, well, we're a good chance next
That's right.
time. And
Spot on. Exactly right.
Carousella's having a year down there. He's
He
been
is.
named to the best each week.
Yeah, he has.
Good player.
He has.
He's a very good player.
But as Gamma
Jake.
said, you got those best in there, and they still lost. There's gaps.
Yeah.
There is gaps, and coaches,
good.
Gammers, they'll go after them.
We
It's
like
the
it.
most. It's the most
like it.
open Div 1's been for a long, long time.
Yeah, I reckon. Yep, you're
Now
definitely
the
right.
chance are on the canvas a little bit. We'll dust ourselves off though.
The next game, well, unfortunately, it's not getting any better for the Red Hill Football Netball Club at Dave McFarlane Reserve down the road. It was 21-10, 136 played. Red Hill 7-9, 51.
Jesus.
It was an absolute pasting.
Neil's
Spook.
mate would be as flat as.
Yeah, no, he would be.
Because he gets a little bit hot under the collar.
Can get a little bit
Ooh,
testy,
yeah.
but
It's a strange one. They have been a very, very consistent performer. Since they won the flag, they were already up in the top 2 or 3, Neil, for 2 or 3 years there in Div 2.
Yes.
And then they finally won the flag. They go up, and they've been super consistent with effort.
yes, they
performance.
have.
They've never been really in the relegation zone since they've been in Div 1.
No.
Something's going on. It's
Yeah.
not right, because it's very unusual for a big, powerful club like that to be in that position. I'm not sure.
I quite often put my neck out there, Spook, and I don't care really what comes of it because I'm an adult and I speak my mind when I speak it. But there was well rumoured Gammers last year that Jamie wasn't going to go on. So something's happened there where he's
Yeah.
gone on.
100%.
And I don't know if this is a direct result because I don't have a direct line into Red Hill and what happens
Get
there.
Neil to call.
But
Yeah, oh,
Speed dial.
go down.
Look, it's
Coach's
If
corner.
you want to.
when you get
You come with me?
involved. When you get involved in player recruitment at the end of a season, so we spoke to a few Red Hill players,
Yep.
as you
As
do,
you do, yep.
unashamedly.
yeah,
And
ones,
no,
yeah.
absolutely.
we spoke to the fella that Aidan William, Aidan that went to Crib Point in the end. Is a winger.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a bit of angst, I think, and I think that's why a few walked away. But then, like I've said on here previously, we play them in a pracky game, and I know it's not the same. They look really well organised.
Yeah.
So it's
And they are Spook,
Oh,
aren't
they-
they?
he-
Like under
no, they're
Jamie
organised.
Molo,
No,
Yeah.
they are. But it's just something not. I'm not saying that Jamie's not giving 100%. I'm not saying that, Jamie. So please settle down. But what I am saying is that there's something wrong. For
Aidan
that
Phillips. Sorry, Aidan Phillips.
Aidan Phillips. So for the best in Sorrento, it was Perich, Doherty, Newand, Gardner, and Charlie
A few
Chuckles.
new names there for Serena.
Yeah, no,
that I haven't seen
there's
before.
a lot of new players, but young Charlie Chuckles Stokes, my boy, has played all his football there, and
Yeah,
he's
it's
just
good.
going from strength
Beautiful.
to strength now. We'll cut your hair because it's not great, mate. And then for Red Hill, it's with Shay Mitchell, James Langford, Joshi Mould, Luke Frampton, and Logan Sanford. The points wise, 42 for Sorrento and 36 for Red Hill.
One issue to do with last year, Gresham was absolutely flying through last year,
Yeah.
and he's only been the best once. Maybe he's carrying a bit of an injury because he is a real
Yep,
player.
he is. Yeah.
He's a star. So if he's struggling at that level, though, in Prem or Div 1 as we call it in PFNL, if your top liners are off, it can really affect the outcome. So potentially a couple of their top liners might be injured or something. Who knows? Not too
Yeah.
sure.
They've had a day out.
So-
So, 11
Sorrento are going all right,
individual
aren't they?
goals.
Oh,
11
Sorrento
individual
going-
goal
Another bit of a
kickers.
story off season. The people that left, and
Yes.
Yeah,
are
no,
they
they're
going to
going-
field aside? Are they going to
Absolutely.
be competitive? Well, they're in the
clearly
bottom
are.
half of the ladder, but they've got a percentage of 100. They've had 2 wins. They look
Yep,
okay.
they're going
don't
okay.
they?
Yeah.
On earth. The couple of boys that left that just cashed in down to the country. Don't you worry about that, those
don't
boys.
you worry about
Yeah,
that.
no,
Well,
Jesus. There's a few going to Moe. Neil, you know, someone was
Moe
up
a
there
little bit the
too.
same.
Yeah,
Oh, Skaggs is up there, isn't he?
No,
Who's
we
up there?
ain't.
Skaggs?
Skaggs is
No,
up
Skaggs.
there. Yes, that's my mate.
Jesus. That's some money.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
story. Therein lies a story.
that is some
That's
money.
a massive
isn't it?
story.
That is a
there any-
massive story.
Did he? It's a big story. Was he captain last year?
He was captain last
Captain
year.
of a premiership. He's left the club and no one's
You-
speaking about it.
You knew he was captain last year.
No, I don't pay any attention who's captain of Man Lions. I couldn't care less.
No, you knew he was captain.
No, I didn't.
So
I thought the
I
blonde.
don't
What's the?
know.
thought
That
Nelmsy
was
was
going to be one of the
yeah,
questions when we get
Nelms-
Ricky in.
Nelmsy's captain, isn't he?
Nelma and
They'll coast.
and
Oh,
Skaggs.
co-captains.
Ah,
Yeah,
co-captains.
co-captains.
Yeah.
Co-captains.
And how's Nelma's knee now? Is he back playing?
Yes, he is.
So he's right.
well,
yes.
let's.
Yes, he's right.
Yeah.
He's right.
Perfect.
I felt for him last year.
Perfect segue, Spook, because thanks to the halftime heroes, the selection table was Edith Vale taking on Mount Eliza. And Edith Vale too strong in the end, 18 points, 15-8, 98. Played 11-14, 80. Plenty to go on with there, you'd think, Kamish.
Yeah, we did have Ricky sort of in tonight to explain his way through it, and obviously then there's a few that I mentioned the Scagliarini, the missing piece through the midfield a couple of weeks ago, and I still that's still developing, putting some kids through there, but that was a Edie are just going extra good too.
Yeah, they
by the
are.
way.
And no, absolutely they are. No, absolutely.
They've
Will.
been beaten by a mug, but it's just a start for my boys.
That
so.
list, though, Neil, I'm not potting, for God's sake, Man Eliza, I'm not potting you. You're a great club. But that list of players should not be one. Are they 1 and 4?
Yeah,
That is fucking
one
ordinary.
and 3.
That's
One
not good
and three.
enough. That list, look at the Freeman's
3.
playing.
Yeah,
Stringer,
you got
Burton.
Bob was underdone.
Second best, but
Will was underdone.
yeah, but that's a great list of players. Nick.
Oh, for sure.
Isn't it?
They just haven't fired yet. Now
They will.
We'll
They
get
will.
an explanation from
Vickery,
Ricky when he's in.
Vickery, very good again. Gammers
Well,
kicks another bag.
there's still a period now where they're the hunted.
Oh,
And
could be
I
mentioned.
just don't reckon they've embraced that.
Totally.
And it's
No.
hard because you look at that list, and I'm with you, Spook. It's a
Spoke about
great
this
list,
2 months ago.
but it's a young list as
It
well.
is. It is.
So-
It is.
You got to
when you-
handle being the hunted.
Young and
Yeah,
hunted.
that's right.
I don't know if they
It's
go
a tough
together.
spot.
True. That's tough. That's why the YC over the last 20 years are
Yeah.
an exceptional footy
Yeah,
club.
been
They've been
unbelievable.
there
It's been unbelievable.
every year. They're just there, right there to win it. So they'll turn it around now. They got the best coach in the comp, probably the best coach in country footy. So I'm sure Ricky will get him going.
Yeah.
Best for
I
ADS
agree.
was Conlon, Vickery, White, Weller, and Diggins.
That Tarkin White's a very impressive player. There's some talk of him coming to Bayswater, and we missed him. So he's a star. Very
Aye.
fast.
And Diggins is a beast.
yeah.
He's a big boy, isn't he?
Oh, he's a beast. He's
Like-
kicked 3, hasn't he? Just roaming around.
Very underrated player
Yeah,
for each.
3
Nick
points.
Carlin.
Goals.
Yeah.
Nick
Yeah,
Carlin's a
Diggins kicked
star.
3.
Nick Carlin, their captain's a very good player.
They
Very
played
sensible.
with
Plays both ends.
Yep, good
Yeah.
player.
they played
We-
with
we-
38 points.
We spoke last week about Vickery, and if he gets off the chain, we're not sure anyone can go with him. I mean, Bob would have been down there, but he's underdone. He's kicked 6.
If Bob's fit, Bob absolutely digs
Yet
it,
he's
to
in
be
the
honest.
second best.
Yeah.
So he's
Bob-
gone all right.
Yeah,
but-
Bob fit would smash him.
Yeah.
He's an interesting one, Vickery, because he almost looks uninterested at times, but
Yeah.
then he's got
He's
that
laconic.
AFL. He's got that
Yeah.
AFL switch that if he flicks it,
Yeah.
then he just goes bananas.
He kicks
so.
him everywhere.
Shit,
Yeah.
haircut.
For Manaliser, it was Langford, McDonald, Girolami, and Burton, Carey, and Freeman, and they played with 34 points.
So can I just ask you a question? I ask you, Neil.
Yes, mate.
When is it too late in the season for Mount Eliza to get going? Because we're saying it every week. They'll get going. They'll get going. They'll get going. But like, when's it going to be too late?
I think round 8 is probably too late. If you're sitting at round 8 and you're 2 and 6,
You're in trouble, aren't you?
you're in trouble.
Yep.
You're just making. You're lucky to make final.
Any changes week to week now so far? Have they
There hasn't
tried,
been,
has he
hasn't been
dropped
a,
any?
hasn't
or-
been a whole lot that I've noticed. Look,
Yeah,
look,
not-
I've watched
yeah,
them for half
yeah,
a game, and
yeah,
it's,
not
it's
interested
but
unless they're winning.
you get sick of winning.
Yeah, of course.
So no, I haven't paid that much attention. But all those questions we can ask when the great man's
It'd be
in.
great to hear. Be good to
Yeah,
ask him.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you are going to, so that rounds out what was round 4. Let's jump straight. What?
Got to get out the front. Got to get our guest.
Got to get a guest.
Got to
Okay.
get a guest.
Is he here?
Yes. I just want to let him in. That's all.
Jeez. Okay, we'll just set him in the back corner.
Huge.
Yeah, sure.
Can't
you
hear
guys,
the crowd.
you guys push on.
We'll push on. Good radio. This is fantastic. That rounds out, of course, what happened in round 4. Let's take a preview into the upcoming round. And if you remember, this is the bullshit split round. So if you're looking for the games that are happening in round 5, you've got to scroll all the way down the bottom until you get to Saturday, the 10th of May. There's 2 games to play out in Division 1. The first game is Mornington taking on Pines at Alexandra Park. It's going to be very, very, very. I don't hold much
That's a
hope.
tough gig for the
I
young
think what
Mornington
Macca's going to what Macca's going to ask is just competitiveness, isn't it, Gammers?
Well, it's going to be a game of youth and outside run
Yeah, speed on the
versus
ball.
strength and big bodies on a small ground. That's a tough ask.
It's hard to find space in Mornington.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I think the tip's pretty straightforward on that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, unfortunately, yep.
yeah.
I think Pines will win that. But
Yeah, I
Mac,
think-
I'm sure they'll take away the assets of Pines, try to stop that. Hendry will drop back and take a lot of marks, and they do some things, Pines. That
Belt
they get,
someone.
yeah, that's a given. But
They'll get
yeah,
beaten
they'll
up.
go
They'll
to
get
work on
beaten
it,
up.
but they just might not have enough cattle to kiss potentially the big boys from Pines.
Correct.
Stuff.
And the halftime heroes selection table match of the day is a clear
Ooh,
standout,
it's a big
being
game.
the only 2 is Frankston YC taking on Mount Eliza. They are going to want to win this one more than ever. Spook, you would expect.
They would enjoy winning this YC, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
they'd
they would.
really enjoy beating Analyzer. And
James
if,
But
doesn't
then
mind
how
beating,
how desperate are Mount Eliza for this win?
yeah, well, we're going to find out because that big game of footy. I would expect Mount Eliza should be able to turn that around.
Yeah.
You would think so. Bob, another week back. Will playing week back. They kicked a fair few points last week. Their kicking's not good in front of
Yeah,
in
no,
front of goal.
look, it was the nemesis last
Yeah,
year,
and
and
it's
they
sort of struggling again.
Yeah,
So I think
yeah.
and I love the YC boys, but I think Mount Eliza might get back on the winners book.
Okay, very interesting. What about you, Gammers?
No, I have to go with Frankston YC. I just think that they've turned the corner. They've flexed their muscles. That's some great results. You can't knock their last 2 or 3 weeks of footy. the jury's out on Mount Eliza until they start winning.
Oh,
so
no
I think,
question.
I think it could. Those two games in Div 1 are a little bit similar, aren't they? They're the bigger bodied team versus the faster outside running team, and I just think I'm going to back the big bodies again. I think the two big body teams will win these two games.
So Franks and YC for
Yes,
you.
please.
Yeah, it's Franks and YC for me too. Commish.
Yeah, YC at home are really hard to beat in that that acres of land they got out there, and I think they're probably going to be too strong for it.
Yeah.
Just
Does,
admit, we're just out of form.
Does Shim play this week?
Don't know.
Well, as I was mentioning earlier,
You got to take someone
Franks and YCW president got in touch with the Halftime Heroes, and we did mention his name a couple of weeks ago, and we were querying suspension, and she said, "No secret here, boys. The Shim is good to go, not suspended. So
Right,
it's only a matter of time.
If
and
he
this-
plays, that changes things a little.
Yeah,
he's a frightening prospect,
Yeah.
particularly if he's fit.
Yeah.
He was doing what he was doing in Southern, not even fit. If they've got him fit, look
He's
out.
a wild
Oh,
man,
oh, yeah.
but I tell you, off field,
Lovely.
he'd be the nicest bloke you ever
Yeah.
speak to.
Yep.
Spook
That's why you like him,
apparently,
innit?
apparently he's dropped 15 kegs.
Yeah, good luck, MPFNL
Yeah.
Prem, I tell you.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a handful.
He was on Frankston's VFL list in 2018.
He's a good
Yeah.
player.
2019, yeah.
Well, Chin was saying he's going to be the best in the company,
Yes,
didn't he? He said he's going to be the MVP.
100%.
That's pretty handy.
It's a big call.
That's
That's a
pretty
huge call.
handy.
But it's coming from a fairly qualified
I
bloke.
really don't think he's a better player than Billy Gertz.
Yeah, well,
Not a chance.
yeah. Well,
But
it
he can
wasn't.
play.
Chin said it, not us. We were just sitting there
Chin,
nodding our heads.
Chin should just shut up. He's not a better player than Billy Gertz, but he can play.
Well, time will
Let's
tell,
see.
won't
Let's
it?
see.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Geez,
I'll go up against each
I
other.
don't think Shem has a high 30 possession, 15 clearances.
No,
for a goal
that
out
is
of
the
Go-
difference,
go
isn't
forward
it? He
and
might
do
be able
that.
to,
him.
exactly.
Billy's as good a player as you
His
see.
work
Shem.
around.
Shem versus Russell Gabriel will be a good match.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you what, Shem would be more agile.
Yep, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Great
Wouldn't mind
tackle.
seeing box on either. That'd be good.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
I'm happy to buy a
That'd be
ticket.
good.
Yeah.
I'd watch that. I'll pay for
I'm
that.
not involved.
$50 pay-per-view.
Yeah, from the other side
Yeah,
of the fence.
Apparently, Shim goes all right.
I reckon he might.
Well, that rounds out Division 1 football, doesn't it?
It does.
Does.
It was very.
I know.
Efficient.
It was very efficient tonight. It helps that there's only 2 games of football
Yeah, that's
coming
not
up.
bad.
So as I said, and I'll mention it again, if you're looking for round 5 football, you need to scroll down to the bottom of the fixture on the Player HQ app, and you will find the 2 games to play out this coming Saturday, the 10th of May, one at John Coburn Oval and the next at Alexandra Park.
They should have played that game Saturday night now. Ripper. Down at Frankston.
Correct.
Wouldn't they? Would have massive.
Yeah,
Everyone
would have been
watching.
huge.
Come on.
Yeah, look.
I would have gone.
It's so.
Up the hill to
Yeah,
the
it'd be great.
Franks and
Would
Rissole.
have been bloody great.
Done.
Yeah. Anyway.
Or down the VFL ground.
Yeah, there you
Is
go.
that what you mean?
Yeah, down the
that's
VFL
what I mean.
ground.
That could be a VFL game now.
Played Friday night there.
but-
Anyway,
yeah, exactly.
They
No,
missed the
look,
trick.
look.
That's the stuff we need to start
100%.
doing with competitions.
Absolutely.
Get the crowds there at night.
exactly.
and stuff.
Well, maybe
Exactly.
maybe they need someone just to think outside of the box a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah,
Why don't they
no,
just
no.
change it now?
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Oh, no.
No, I couldn't do that.
Couldn't do that.
John
That'd-
Coburn?
That'd make
John
sense.
Coburn Oval. I'll go and watch it.
I'll go.
Righto.
Righto.
Make it happen.
Yep,
MPFNL.
that's it. That is a wrap for Div 1 football. I hope you enjoy it. As I said, both games to be played, during the day, of course, but John Coburn Oval is the Frankston YC Mount Eliza if you want to go get down there. And then Alexandra Park, Mornington will be taking on the Pines. We're going to take a quick break, and guess what? We're going to be back with the Coach's Corner. And under the cone of silence is Blake Jackson, the Frankston Blue superstar, and the Josh Giddy Dominator. 50 points on the Gidster, who's going to be earning $20 million a month.
A month.
In the next season, red hot go, I reckon, and Chicago Bulls
Blake will get
superstar.
He'll get some royalties out of that, won't he, Blake?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, reckon.
Oh,
You'd be
yeah.
trying.
Just $1 million a
Get
month?
1%.
Yeah, come on.
Be all
Do you
right.
reckon Gammersy was taking the piss, Josh Giddy?
Oh, Blake won't say that, will he?
I think he will, actually.
I've seen it. He was definitely taking the piss. But we can't wait to talk to him, and he's coming up next during the Coach's Corner. You're listening and watching the Halftime Heroes.
Nestled on the beautiful Mornington Peninsula, Sharmac Lodge offers a peaceful 6-bedroom retreat in Rye for short-term stays for adults of all ages living with disability or illness. Overnight or day stays are available 7 days a week with tailored care provided around the clock. Guests can also participate in daily activities on the peninsula, making it a perfect getaway. Rest easy knowing your loved one's care is personalised to their needs. Finally, a short-term respite solution that brings peace peace of mind and can be funded under your home care package or NDIS funding. Book a tour today with the welcoming team at Sharmac Lodge. Visit aftercare.com.au or search Sharmac Lodge today. Let their family help your family.
Welcome back to the Halftime Heroes. It is now time for the Coach's Corner, of course. And as I said, off the top of the show, the Josh Giddey Dominator. We've got Blake Jackson in studio for the Coach's Corner with the commish. A little bit different looking because, well, not a lot of us know much about basketball, including the commish. So I'm surprised you want to get Blake on board.
Who does Josh Giddey play for?
Oh, no, you
The
did.
Bulls. And I actually knew that.
Yeah, no, you did. Absolutely, you did.
I'm
Well,
up with the NBA.
well, take it away, Commish. Let's lower that cone of silence and fucking here we go.
It's a kind of silence.
It's a cone of silence, mate. Okay, can you hear us, Commish? Yep, see nothing. You can't hear us, so take it away, Commish, if you can hear me.
Mate? Can you hear me? I can hear you. Yeah. Good work. The cone is operating shithouse as usual. Blake Jackson, thanks for coming in, mate.
No worries, yeah.
What a 24 hours,
Yeah,
almost to the minute that you've had.
Yeah, almost to the minute.
An incredible, and we'll drill down on your little career
Yeah.
after this. But what an incredible little sequence of events, mate. You've been everywhere. You've been with Mick in the morning.
Yep.
What have you done? Tell us.
Did Mick in the morning this morning on Triple M, and then I did the rush hour with Billy Brownless and James Broshaw. They were good blokes. And then I did Channel 9, Channel 7, Channel 10, and ABC Radio. So it's been a big, overwhelming 24 hours, but the phone hasn't stopped blowing up.
And then culminating with the Halftime Heroes. The very best till last.
The biggest finish, which is good.
The biggest finish. Tell us how it came about. What happened?
Well, I don't even know it was going to come about. I'd had a Monday night domestic game lined up, as I do every week, and almost didn't rock up because I was very tired, and it's like an 8 o'clock game. You don't want to go to those. So didn't tape my ankles. I got bad ankles, didn't tape them. Just planned on shooting threes and having a bit of fun. And then, Josh Giddey rolls in, and I'm like, oh, man, got to guard an NBA player tonight. So had to turn it on a little bit. And then the crowd started to form, so I had to turn it on a little bit. No, but it was really cool. It was a good experience, and he's a great dude.
So they're talking about Court 5, which is sort of back in the bleachers a bit too, isn't it? It's not the centre court only.
They call it the dungeon.
The dungeon.
It's quite dark in there, and it's a bit dusty. It's not the best conditions, especially for an NBA player. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So do you reckon did he come down with the intention of playing, or someone didn't turn up, or something, or he had his shit there and
So
was ready
his
to go?
best mate, who's a part of his little entourage, who travels around with him, apparently he was going to fill in, and they said, "Nah, we've got 6 players." And then he goes, "Oh, but my mate Josh wants to come down." And they're like,
Right.
"Oh,
Yeah,
nah, we
yeah,
usually
yeah.
only run with 6." And then he was like, "Josh Giddey," and they're like, "Oh yeah, he can play."
Of course. Everything.
And then it just like word got around, and then people were playing on other courts. The games got cancelled just because they didn't want to play it. They just started watching our game. So it ended up with like about 100, 150 people watching our game. And had some fun.
Fantastic.
So
And he nailed 50 points against him. Well, we're going to say it against him. Was he actually on you?
Yeah.
Was he running around shoulder to shoulder with you?
Oh, I wouldn't say shoulder to shoulder. He didn't try.
Was he like all over you?
Guarding's a loose term, but we were on each other all night, which was awesome. Like, I don't even know if I put my hand up, actually. It sort of just happened.
You sort of watched. Dribbling.
He came to me at the tip to start the game, and he introduced himself, which was good. Very nice. He said, Josh. And I said, yeah, cool. I know who you are.
You should have said, sorry, in your name?
Yeah. Do you play?
No, yeah. And then, the first tip of the game, he came, stood next to me, and I was like, oh, if I get the ball, this is going up. This is going up big time. And I get the ball, and I pulled up from about a metre behind the three-point line, went in, and I was like,
Oh, yeah.
we're on
In
you.
your face.
No,
In
we're
your
on.
face,
there
Josh
wasn't much
Giddey.
defense being played at all, but
Doesn't matter.
shot the piss out of it, I think.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Great work.
Which was good timing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And you're only just back from a fairly severe finger injury too, aren't you?
Hand, I broke my hand, so I was out for 9 weeks. It's my second week back, so I had to remember how to play basketball again, which is tough to do, but I think I remembered.
Yeah, you did.
real good.
Was that the webbing? What?
Yeah, so I broke my hand in here, had a little spiral fracture there.
Yeah, righto.
And then I split my webbing at the same time.
Okay.
So,
Basketball?
Yeah, basketball.
Really?
It was just a little injury. Like I just reached for the ball and hit my arm on someone, and then blood went everywhere and broken finger. So
Yeah, that was pretty messy, wasn't it?
yeah, it took them like 20 minutes to clean up the court after. So and had to get new shoes because they were just red. They were white, but then they turned red. Yeah, it
It's
was
the
a bit
best thing
sick.
that ever happened to you.
Yeah, new shoes.
Yeah. And mum and dad, they're overseas, aren't
They're about to be. So yeah, Dad's got delayed, but they're in Thailand right now.
they? Okay, they'd be awfully proud of their kid toweling up Josh Giddey. The Jackson family, for those who don't know, the Jackson family had been around Frankston basketball forever and a day. Both senior players down there, mum and dad. And mate, they'd be wrapped. What about young Maxie? He'd be spewing, wouldn't he? And Tori.
Maxie was pretty supportive, actually.
Was he?
I haven't
Tori
seen
be
much of
shitty. She'd be
Yeah,
jealous.
Yeah, she'd
Yeah.
be jealous. But yeah, no, everybody's been super happy, and yeah, they're pretty proud. Well, proudish, sort of.
Right. So youth
Still
league captain last year.
Yeah, last year was the youth league captain for
Yep.
Frankston.
Yep.
Um,
You lost in the finals.
yeah,
You went out in
we
the finals.
Yeah, don't like to talk about
Jeez,
that, but yeah.
Jeez, you put a bit of down on
The
that
first
one.
bit of research you've done in your life, yeah.
No, turn it up, Luke.
You should have seen last week. It was impressive
Oh,
last
okay.
week.
It was. I had some
Oh, I
notes on
know.
Josh Beard, didn't
Yeah,
I?
yeah, he did.
Very good now. You're doing well.
And you coach at Peninsula.
I do, yeah. I help coach the first, and then I head coach the seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, down at Peninsula Grammar. I used to go there, so
Yep.
alumni. Yeah.
Is Harmsy still coaching at Peninsula?
Nah, he gave it up to Tom Garrett, if you remember.
Oh,
Tom
yeah,
Garrett,
yeah,
my-
okay,
my
yeah,
good
yeah.
friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome coach. So
Right. But Harmsy's still coaching you at Frankston.
yeah, at Frankston, he's unreal. So.
Is that a pay gig at the school? Yes, you beauty. Of course it is. Good man.
Yes,
Private
yes.
schools.
I'd be putting your price up after that game.
Now, you got a little story. So the Frankston Blues put together a compilation of players to take to India to promote the game because the Indian against
Just
the
go to Cranbourne.
against the
Don't have to go all the way over there.
against the Indian. Don't laugh.
Yes,
Don't encourage him
yes.
because you against the Indian All Stars.
Yeah,
Was that the team you played against? So they're trying to get basketball off the ground in India.
Yeah,
And these guys went across as a combination of Frankston Blues players to India.
yeah.
And you got some stories about Bollywood people being in the room and that sort of. It was tell us of some bizarre shit that happened in India.
Yeah, so I went to India. We played pretty much the Indian national team. Who
They were pretty shit.
They were pretty shit. We won by 70 in the end, but they were massive. They had 4 7-footers.
Wow.
So, yeah, like they were huge, and they were all like super skilled. They just didn't know how to play basketball, which is understandable. But yeah, went over there, and it was like billionaires were backing this game, like Indian billionaires. So it was like a proper like NBL stadium with like lighting and courts and all that stuff. And then yeah, a Bollywood actress and a Bollywood actor came down, and they have like 100 million followers on Instagram because there's a lot of them over there.
There's a billion.
Yeah, there's a couple. And yeah, the game just pretty much stopped for this Indian lady actress who just stood courtside, and then everybody just sort of like huddled around her, and we were trying to play basketball sort of around the spectators.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I was on the bench, and I couldn't see the game because there was like a line of people lining up to take photos with her.
Wow.
And yeah, it was a bit
Incredible.
weird, but yeah, it was a good experience, really good experience.
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah,
Crazy.
We're going to give you a little plug here. So you run a little program called Road to Rep. Have I got that right?
Yeah,
Because I got that after 10 beers the other night, and you were telling me it was I had all sorts of fucking names except Road for Rep.
Yep.
But that's so you run it for any aspiring junior basketballs, any parents listening to this. Blake's a great teacher, and his program is called Road to Rep.
Yep.
How do we get onto that, Blake?
So the program's called Road to Rep. My business is called Ninch Hoops.
Hey,
Peninsula, yeah.
like it.
So
Inch.
Ninch Hoops, yeah. I pretty much just launched it, so it's pretty fresh.
Good
but yeah,
timing, mate.
Road to Rep.
Yeah.
Let me guess,
God,
you
I'm
launched it yesterday.
After the game, I got hit up by a couple of reporters, and they were asking me some questions. They're like, "Oh yeah, what's your business? We'll plug it." And I was like, "Oh shit, I actually haven't." Like I was about to launch it the next week, so
Oh,
I
wow.
was on Facebook at like midnight creating like a Facebook page just so I could launch
That's
it.
Yeah, good on you, mate.
So good.
Fantastic.
So that's what you're
Meant to
talking
be,
about.
totally.
So that's
There it is.
right.
That's
There
what
it
it
is.
is.
Cash in.
Yeah, it's
Cash
a bit
in, mate.
premature.
TikTok
It's a bit,
and
yeah,
Instagram.
but, yeah, Ninch Hoops and Road to Rep is my program. Yeah, come down if your kid wants to play representative basketball, and I'll teach them some skills. Yeah,
Good work,
Okay,
mate.
so go to Road to
Fantastic.
Rep on a
Yeah.
website, or
Facebook or
Facebook,
my Instagram,
Insta.
Blake Jackson. Yeah.
Fantastic, mate. Any questions from you, randoms?
Is that your highest score ever?
Yes, by a long shot, I reckon.
That's
I reckon
awesome.
I only had probably 33 before that. But yeah, 50s.
Well done,
a
mate.
bit, yeah.
Fantastic.
And then your teammate as well, he would have been devastated that he...
Yeah, only 41.
No, he got some showtime as well.
Oh,
so,
he did?
He was on Channel 9. He came and did all the interviews with me.
Oh.
I roped him into it. I didn't want to just.
And what's his name, Blake?
His name's Jesse Lance. He's the best shooter in the peninsula. So,
Was?
Yeah.
What?
Well, no, he hit 11 threes and I hit 10. So yeah.
Ah.
That's good effort.
You scored 50, he scored 41.
Yep.
Yeah, you're the better shooter.
Yeah, more
he's-
twos.
The funny part now, there's a difference with I played a bit of basketball, I know Neil coached it, but with basketball, it's the one sport where it's encouraged to be selfish.
Yeah.
Because footy, it's all about team and
Yeah.
do the team thing.
Give it-
Basketball,
give it-
who
give
gives
it.
a fuck? Give it to the bloke, just
Yeah.
let him shoot threes.
Shoot
There's
it. Give it
no.
to the shooter.
You get the more greedy you are and the more selfish, the better you'll be paid.
Oh, I
I love
know.
it. Beautiful.
All right.
That
Good
is,
on you,
isn't
boys.
it?
It's the total opposite to footy. It really is.
It's a total.
What was
That's
what was the game score?
I think it was 110 to like 86 or something.
Wow.
No fouls were called because I think the refs were too scared to just
Of course.
call it on an NBA player. Actually, one of the refs did call a carry on Josh Giddey.
No,
which
he
was
didn't.
A carry.
Pretty ballsy, yeah.
Wow.
What did Giddy do?
Which was pretty funny. And Giddey actually turned around and goes, "Yeah, good call."
Ah.
Well, they get away with it in the NBA all the time.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
like
I do.
it.
They, yeah,
Exactly.
they walk down the court.
Run down the
They
court.
just run down.
As long as they look good.
Ballsy caught. Ballsy call by I think his name's Gab. Shout out Gab.
I know, mate.
But yeah, not much defense was played, and there was no foul calls. So it was just up and back, up and back.
Beautiful.
up and back.
Oh, yeah, so I didn't watch it all, Blake, but what I did see was he was just, like, Josh was passing a lot,
Yeah,
wasn't
oh,
he?
yeah.
And just setting up play and just to have his presence like that at, all the games stopped in the end and everyone went to watch your game, which is, it's pretty
That's
bloody
awesome.
awesome.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a megastar.
He's an absolute
is he
megastar. Did you say that, look, if you can part with maybe, a couple of grand out of that 250 million contract, or is he going to come down and support Ninch Hoops?
Maybe, I don't know. No, I don't think he'll be coming to Frankston anytime soon. But, no, he was a good dude. He gave out his shoes to a kid after
Oh,
the game
wow.
and took heaps of photos. So, yeah, great guy.
Ripper.
Well,
great
where
stuff.
did he actually play a lot of his basketball?
Yeah,
Like?
so he grew up playing for Melbourne Tigers. So I actually played him as a junior.
He was a
growing up.
Springvale junior, wasn't he?
Not
Is that where the Vales come from?
No, that's just a Dandenong
No,
domestic
wrong
team.
again, Commissioner.
He's
Good research.
I think you're fucking wrong.
He's
there.
all over it.
I reckon. I
He's
reckon it was.
Warwick Giddey's son who used to play for the Melbourne Tigers in the NBL. So he grew up around there and then played him in juniors a couple of times.
What
so
rep team did he play
I'm
for?
going to look into
Juniors?
that.
That's
bullshit.
That's 100%.
Yeah,
No, that's crap.
No, Neil.
Wasn't he a late bloomer as a junior? Like he wasn't really sticking out, and then
Yeah, he
Right.
sort of had the same skill set, but just wasn't as tall. And now he's just like six.
Yep.
Like he's 6'8" as a point guard.
That's
nuts.
insane.
Like,
Phenomenal.
he's a bit taller than me.
That is insane.
Yeah, there's a couple of comments like, "Oh, the domestic players look really tiny." I was like, "Oh, I'm 6'6", and he's still like much bigger than me."
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
incredible. He's just big and strong, and
Yeah.
he turned it on for a couple of sessions and just torched me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't say that on air.
No, exactly.
No, exactly.
We'll cut that bit. We'll
I
cut that
dominated
bit.
him.
I've introduced you as the Josh Giddey Dominator. So,
Thanks for coming in, mate. It was a story. It's not football, but it's a story we had to cover. We had Harmsy in here the year before last, and
Yeah, it was.
we're a
We
bit
did.
we're a bit basketball sort of orientated. Road to rep for anyone who needs to get better. Through Blake, that'd be great. Your support would be awesome. Thanks for coming in. Keep shooting that ball, mate, that way. Like I told you,
Oh,
I
that's
teach taught you as a
very good
junior with
advice.
the
No.
what's that hand in the teeth thing or
Out of the
something?
phone box,
Jar,
gooseneck.
Huh?
Gooseneck,
Hand in
yeah.
the cookie jar.
Cookie jar,
Yeah.
cookie jar. Hand, that's right. Like good. You remember?
you, the only hand you've
me
got
that.
in anything at the moment is literally the cookie jar.
Oh, that's it. Oh, don't talk about the
finances.
cookie jar, man. Eliza, mate. No, don't do that one.
Oh, up the top shelf, top
Crispy
shelf,
fresh
of the,
notes.
top shelf of the canteen. Fresh notes, top shelf of the
Fucking
canteen.
hell. Well, I'm just going to give in.
Oh, well done to you,
Thanks,
Commish.
Blake.
Blake.
Well
Good
done,
on
Blake.
you. Thanks
Well-
for coming in, mate.
Yeah,
Super
no,
effort.
absolutely.
Super effort. Love your work.
Absolutely. The Josh Giddey Dominator is Blake Jackson from the Frankston Blues. That has been the Coach's Corner. We've loved every second of it. Thanks for joining us again, Blake. You're watching and listening. The Halftime Heroes will be back with the Division 2 football show.
Nestled on the beautiful Mornington Peninsula, Sharmac Lodge offers a peaceful 6-bedroom retreat in Rye for short-term stays for adults of all ages living with disability or illness. Overnight or day stays are available 7 days a week with tailored care provided around the clock. Guests can also participate in daily activities on the peninsula, making it a perfect getaway. Rest easy knowing your loved one's care is personalised to their needs. Finally, a short-term respite solution that brings peace of mind and can be funded under your home care package or NDIS funding. Book a tour today with the welcoming team at Sharmac Lodge. Visit aftercare.com.au or search Sharmac Lodge today. Let their family help your family.
Welcome back to the Halftime Heroes. Well, geez, that was pretty impressive from you, Kamish. I've got to be honest.
It's a story, isn't it?
Yeah, it
Like,
is.
we love those stories, success stories, don't we, Gammers? Like that?
Absolutely. Like, what a great young man.
Yeah, no, he's a beauty. Great family, beautiful family.
No, well done to you. Good get. I like everything about that, and what a really great young bloke he's. And he does need to capitalise on the success of that game and get behind him. If your child is looking at developing their basketball skills, and make sure you hit him up.
Road to rep.
Blake Jackson, and I'm sure he's started a Facebook page and probably an Instagram page that is called Ninch Hoops, which is him in particular. So jump on board. Well done to him and well done to you, Commish. Thanks for bringing him in bound. Let's kick off the Div 2 round that happened on Saturday, the 3rd of May. There was only the 3 games because of the clusterfuck of the fixture. It is so well. It's so confusing. I had people messaging me saying, "How can I get onto this? Why is there no football this way? No, there's football," and it's like, anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever.
Maybe the umpires do the fixturing as well.
Oh, well, that'll really fuck things up then, won't it? It's the first game to take place on Saturday, the 3rd of May, at Crib Point Recreation Reserve. We saw Crib Point taking on... Who did we see? We saw Crib Point
Bombers.
taking on Frankston Bombers. Frankston Bombers too strong in the end, 14-10-94, played 5-11-41. 53 points, the Frankston Bombers. They are sort of the scary team in the competition, aren't they, Gammers?
Well, they sure are. You look at the scores here. So Frankston's outscored Crib Point by quarter time. So they've come to play, Frankston and Crib Point, probably their first real big test against one of the top 2 or 3 sides. And yeah, they've got a bit of work to do to catch up to those, as some of the other teams do as well.
No, absolutely. And for the best in Crib Point was Liam Tyrrell, Ellie Tyrrell, Jet Boa, Miles Shepherd, Will Stewart, and they played with 34 points. And for...
Good boys.
Yep,
Good.
Absolutely. And for Frankston Bombers, it was Kingsbury, Pryor, Robertson, Glenn, and Haratuku. You'd expect those players to get in there, Spook, wouldn't you? They played with 33 points.
Yeah, some big names there. Great to see Spencer Robinson playing good footy. He's fit and firing, Spencer. Fantastic young talent. He's been a little bit injured. He's had a knee and come off that, and he's taken a little while to get going, but he's a genuine A-grade player when he's fit, young Spencer. So I'm rapt to see him playing. He's getting midfield time, which is great. And if Khan and Harry are in the best, you're probably going to win most games, to be honest.
Khan kicks 4. That's just a.
Yeah, he's a handful.
Yeah,
There's
he's just
not a
nice day,
player
isn't
in Division 2 that can stop him.
Yeah.
Jared kicked 5.
Yeah, and Jared kicked 5.
Didn't move out of the square, probably. That'd be Jared.
But both played under the 35 cap. I like it.
Well, I must admit, Neil, I'll take a bit of a claim to all those 1 pointers there, Neil, because all those kids that are now down, they're all a lot of kids. They all come out the Bombers with me, which is great to see. Play
Don't
the
care
kids.
how they get there, as long as they get there
Get
and they
there and
stay
stay there. That's the key.
Yeah.
Well, for now, anyway. Eh?
So how does that work? Just on that,
we
we are going to pick up the point saga a little bit later. But on that, so can I use, and 2, it was remiss of me, mate, to mention at the start of the show that the Bayswater boys had their first win this year, mate. So congratulations and well
Did you know the words to the song?
No,
Did you
and
sing along?
No,
Or
the
just sort of
song
mime?
is a random
It's-
song.
Is it?
It's like a homegrown one, so I had
Right.
no fucking clue about the song.
Right.
Very fun song though.
Right.
I hope
Okay.
to learn it in a hurry.
Right.
Very fun song, but
Was
in answer to your question, there's been players that have been playing at Bayswater for 3+ years. They still don't know the fucking song. It's
So
it,
it's not-
it,
they don't
there's
bang it
a
out
lot of
that
the
often,
new
do they?
boys are
Lean
sort
times?
of pardon.
Yeah.
Lean times?
Yeah. No, I don't. Maybe, but there's a little bit of it's
Very good.
very impressive.
Very
so well
good.
done to
Yeah,
you.
thanks, mate.
That
Good win.
was,
great stuff.
Boys did well. They did played a really good brand of footy.
Easy
Yeah.
win too. Pretty easy.
Yeah, it dropped
Oh,
off in the last quarter, but the game was over. And
Yeah,
no
yeah,
bench for the, I
jumped
don't think I finished with a bench for the. There hasn't been a
Yeah,
game.
no.
Oh, just
It'll
injuries.
turn, Luke.
It'll turn. No, we're
Yeah.
right. That's great.
Yeah.
Get opportunity. Good win, boys.
Yeah, no, very, very true. So I've lost my train of thought now on that.
Bombers are they're the favourites, which we'll go into the game later on. But you'd think that'd be everyone's favourite to win the flag at the moment.
Yeah, I reckon too. Gammers.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't seen them yet, but they're destroying everyone they play at the moment. So,
Sorry, that's what I was going to say. So, for me in the points, right? So my son played. Jake, hello. He's played a lot of junior football. Played 2 years ago with a team in the Northern League, Parkside. Played half a game, got absolutely KO'd, and it was fucking scary, to be honest, the way he was hit. And so we just thought, no, I need to get into the gym, I need to bulk up. Anyway, long story short, he's a 3-point player at Bayswater Football Club. How, having played all his junior football, but then played half a game in another league and then goes to Bayswater as a 3-point player. And then I know that someone on Devon Meadows' list on the weekend, I think it starts with F and ends with Rawley, played with as a 3-point player. Now,
That's insane.
what in
Reasonably
God's
handy game,
name?
wasn't he?
Now, this is going to be brought up a little bit later on. We'll get back into what was round 4, but we do need to talk about this. Pearsdale took on Hastings Football Netball Club 21-13, 139. Played Hastings 8-9-57. 82-point shellacking by the Pearsdale Football Club. Well, some are saying that they're flat track bullies because there's not much into them. But Gammers, your thoughts on that game?
well, I'll look at the halftime score. So I've played both these teams. Hastings in their development are playing pretty good first halves of football at the moment, and that's Kev would say that if we got him on here, that's where they're at.
Yep.
Pearsdale are probably your second favourite to take the flag of Frankston Bombers. Pearsdale, they are good when they get the game on their terms. The week before we played them, and it was a great game. It's probably one of the better games of the season so far from people on the other side of the fence. Pearsdale's top-line talent would have just been too hard for Hastings to handle this week, and that's a bit of the story of the comp at the moment. The teams with the out-and-out cream of the crop talent are getting the job done at the moment, while some teams in the middle, lower, are trying to get their games going.
In the best for Pearsdale was Geordie Bastanak, Archie McGuinness, Luke Setinieri, Luke Daniel, and Robbie Arnott, and they played with 27 points.
Fantastic.
And
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? And for Hastings was Cade Foster, Jack Slocum, Thomas Muzzialo, and Louis Conard and Logan Panov, and they played with 40 points. So, look, we know that Hastings obviously are sort of doing a bit of a rebuild, but Pearsdale going along very nicely.
Very good.
Very good.
They're forward halves. They're a powerhouse, head of the footy, as Gammers would know. So if you're going to beat them, you probably got to do more than break even in the middle. You probably got to beat them around the middle, get it in your front half, and hold it in there. Because if they're getting good looks up forward, geez, they're a handful.
So, and they had two key players missing Pearsdale. So Tom Schneider was injured after our game, and I believe Ryan Basnak he took a week after our game. So that probably makes the result look even better for Pearsdale.
Yeah, it
If
does.
you're projecting ahead, say Frankston Bombers win it this year, Pearsdale would be red hot favourites next year. I reckon red hot, and they could win it. They could win the whole thing with about 24 points
Yeah, but for me, it almost sort of depends on
if
who
they
comes,
retain the list.
who comes down, who gets relegated.
Well, the story seems
well,
to
it
be
looks. Yeah, look at it now.
the story
Say
seems
Say
to
Red
be
Hill.
who finishes.
Say Red Hill. Only because they're sitting on the bottom of the ladder.
The commission's
Well, I'm just saying, no.
Yeah,
well,
the
it's-
commission's got
Jamie Nielsen getting
Jamie.
relegated.
I didn't know if it declared it. I'm just looking at the ladder.
Your phone's lit up.
Imagine if we were live. Imagine.
Well,
The story, though, of the teams getting beaten in Div 2 in the grand final is they're not coming back the next year. So, I've been part of that. It looks like Chelsea have dropped off a bit from losing last year. So I don't know. That seems to be the assumption each year, but it hasn't happened.
It's definitely a pattern. There's no doubt about it. But
It's hard to
if-
come back
if
from a
things
grand final
stayed-
loss.
yeah, if things stayed the way they were.
Yeah.
Just throwing one in there.
No, very
Little-
good.
little
I
grenade.
like it. I like it a lot. The next game was. I didn't mean that accent. The next game
was it?
I was a little bit
I like
Indian.
it, like
We were
it.
talking. I like it.
Like
I
it,
like
I like it.
I used to live in Narry South.
Oh.
Don't get me started. The next game
Clyde.
saw Devon Meadows taking on your boys, Gammers, going down at Somerville Football Netball Club by 42 points, 16-11, 107 played, 9-11-65. Gammers, bring us through, please. What went down at home?
The game started okay. Even if you look at half time, it's 47-57.
Yeah,
It's
yep.
not a bad game. To and fro. Very open game of football. Very little defence being played by either side, which probably doesn't suit us.
No, all you.
No, definitely not me. So, yeah, we missed some chances to really put that game away early in the first quarter. I think we kicked 4 points with our first 4 shots, and they're all gettable. So stuff we're working on. And then the cream of Devon come to play in the second half. We just couldn't go with them. And, you look down the page, Frawley, F. Rawley, did you call him? F. Rawley?
Yeah, F. Rawley,
So
yep.
the three-pointer, he kicked 8. And Kent just had the ball on a
He's a
string. He played everywhere. I don't know where he played in the end. Like, he started back.
Back to your point, Adam. Why? How?
I
3 points.
don't know.
How? Why? What's
I
going
don't
on?
know. And
You
then-
should know.
So
Well,
Dean Kent is a 4-pointer. He's been at Devon for how long?
3 years.
Yes.
Frawley is a 3-pointer.
No,
What the fuck are they doing at this comp?
no, that's got to be something wrong.
No, that's exactly what it
That's
says.
what it is.
Seriously, this comp and the point system is so poor. You got kids getting a kid that's played one game of seniors is the same points as a 200 game. He's not a star, but a 200 game player. That is
In the
just
AFL.
In the AFL, that is not right.
It's
so
not
for
right.
the AFL Southeast or AFL Victoria, or whoever does the point system,
It's AFL.
clean it up, get it right, reassess it, and fucking sort it out. Because it's
He
not
has
fair.
to be 5 at a minimum. Doesn't
so
It's a joke.
well, I've chased it up.
In your
Well, actually,
experience,
I didn't
Gammers.
chase it up. I spoke to a member within the MPFNL community. He retired from AFL in 2020.
Can we say that he's part of the commission?
Well, I guess you just
You
said.
just did.
Yeah, I did.
Well,
it's with good authority. Then.
yeah. So retired from AFL in 2020, so that's 5 years ago.
Mhm.
The problem I have with it is Gold Coast Suns listed VFL. I
Mm.
think he's a development coach up there. Look, I'm all about these guys coming back, but the comparison story is the one that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've got a guy that's been at my club for 3 years who played all his junior football at YCW, 2 years of 19s, 1 year of reserves, and he's a three-pointer
It's
if
a
I play him
joke.
in the seniors. So the point system, there needs to be a caveat. I've thrown some ideas around this, and it's applicable to my club too. So if people think I'm complaining here, like I'm happy to abide by it as
100%.
well. We've had ex-AFL players at our club, but they've been homegrown junior.
Yeah.
So you deserve to have them as 1 point
Correct.
players. If you're
That-
good
that's
enough
fine.
No,
to
absolutely.
attract
That is
them back.
absolutely fine.
But if these guys don't go back to their junior clubs,
They need
How-
to be whacked.
well, how do the rest of us compete?
Exactly.
They should just be a 5-point player, shouldn't they?
Yep.
Oh, mate, at a minimum. So if we use Ned Cahill as an example, he's 7 points. When's the last time he played AFL? Ned.
Oh, yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it?
Oh, it's been 3 years.
At Essendon, you can get a game at Carlton.
No,
Well,
that's-
okay,
yeah.
right. So go
a long
back.
time.
So it's
But
let's say 4 years.
Maybe they've
He's
tacked
7
extra
points
because he's in. I don't know. I'm talking
Because in the
completely
league.
out my ass because he's left Mount Eliza and gone to YC. They've probably tacked him a point.
They have.
Right,
That-
okay.
that's
So,
what it-
okay.
yeah,
Well,
that's what it
we'll
would
cop
be.
that, Luke. We'll cop that. So
I
he's gone
think-
from 6 to 7.
It's just
How
ridiculous.
the fuck is Frawley 3 points?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's got to be it.
Don't know. Maybe the
complete
bags got thrown
misnomer.
around to the goes to get the points out.
That's bullshit.
It's not right.
The best for Devon Meadows was, I didn't go through Somerville's best was
Joshy Young.
Joshy Young,
How's Hayden? Poor
Benny
bugger.
Cadditts,
Oh,
Lockie
yeah.
Gilrenoof.
That
Lockie
doesn't
Gilrenoof.
sound good.
It's a year.
Lockie Gilrenoof just keeps showing up, doesn't he?
He's about to explode, mate.
Mate.
He's becoming the player that a lot of us know he can be. I think we said off air, like, it's not an excuse, but it is part of the story. The players we're missing at the moment, we're just trying to put a season together.
Yeah.
We know they're coming. We just need to be relevant round 8, round 9 when we start getting what looks like Somerville together.
Mm.
Not to say, like, that list, is fantastic. And our twos are sitting on top of the ladder with a percentage of 500. So we've got great depth, but I think you'll agree with me, Spook. The having been in the comp, the gap from twos to ones in both Div 1 and Div 2, it's a gulf.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to pick from from your reserves for your seniors and explain to them, hey, you're starring at reserves grade. You're going to play a role in seniors, and it just doesn't quite resonate with most.
Absolutely.
Or you might have to give them 3 or 4 weeks for it to resonate and then get the best out of them. But to
Absolutely.
expect them to come up and then play that one round.
I always struggle with this. I've tried to do it at Basie. I'm sure gamers are the same. Is you get a gun midfielder playing reserves footy,
Yep.
and then an opportunity comes up as a halfback flank or a wing, and a lot of these twos guys have to play in a position they're not used to, and I've been quite conscious of that. So I'm trying to put them in the position,
Yeah,
trying
we've
to.
done that this year.
But it's very hard because otherwise, if you're a midfielder, you're not going to get past the 6 guys that are playing mid.
100%.
So you've got to try and develop them in other roles. Which one, they're stepping up in grade. 2, they're changing position, and then it's a very tough thing to get right for the player.
And then you've got your reserves coach, Bix, going, hey, Spook, what's going on here?
Yeah, stealing all his players. I feel sorry.
I mean,
I'm trying to win a. Hang on, boys. Just before I go, there's a couple more. Joel Vincent and Lockie Haskett and Somerville was played with 31 points.
Can I just talk to Josh Young? So that's a great effort from him. So he went and watched his brother at Marvel the night before, as they do every time he's over here. Hayden comes back from a serious injury. He's done a hamstring that's needed surgery. He's out for 10 to 12 weeks. So he was flat as a tack when he got here because they're very, very close, beautiful family. So for him to do that was outstanding for us.
We talk about the Mace DeWitt factor. I mean, he's a 2 or 3 sort of player type. You feel as though you're losing 2 or 3 players when he's out of the team. But you come up against a mob who you got a bloke who's kicked 8 on 3 points. It's not right.
So we've got a key.
It's just not right.
We've got a key forward that's recovering from knee surgery. We've got a key back and Mason not play, which makes a massive difference to our side.
Yeah.
Just one thing. I know I've had a habit of potting Devon Meadows, but what I will say, I'm rapt to see you. The private player. How can you? I'll get back to the private player in a minute.
dancer. Who is the private player?
But on it, the point, I will give Devon Meadows a compliment. Alex Cannell, young bloke. Rolly McDonald, young bloke. Kai Williams, I think Cinema's young. Cody Ray's a kid. James King's young. Jack Wilson. Riley Simmons is young. Ryan Coo's sort of a young bloke. Bailey Phillips, young bloke. Churchill, young bloke. So at least they're playing. That is a very young group.
They play different now.
Yep.
They're quicker.
Yep.
Which I think.
Yep, which is great. So
they
hats
talked
off to Dean Kent, who's playing the kids, and I'm sure this is coming from him, not the previous coach. And good work.
No, you're right. They
haven't played kids for fucking 3 years.
That's right. You're 100% right.
So
James
well done.
Frawley.
Do me a favour on your phone. Try and press on the private player. See what happens.
Yeah, James.
So how do you do research on a 3-point player?
I don't know how that's allowed.
Who was the private player?
We don't know.
Oh, I wrote it somewhere. I can't remember now. But I think
it's actually
someone
a setting.
did say,
it's actually a setting. When you sign up, being a father of, we all are dads, but when you actually have to slide across a little setting to come off private.
Okay.
So he just could have registered as and not just has.
Yeah, but if you're going to put him in the best, you'd put a name in. Wouldn't
Well, that is true.
Well,
That's true.
My wife does our clearances at Summy.
Yep.
Why wouldn't you just go back to your person and go, can you just change that in my
Yeah,
settings?
no, that's right.
Because I think
That's
it's been
right.
named every week.
I think that should be a please explain.
Yep.
I think that
Should
should be a
it's an
please
old-
explain. For the best for Devon was F. Rawley, Nick Battle, Joel Hillis, Kai Williams,
Kai.
and,
Big rapping Kai, no?
He's a
private
good kid.
Yeah.
He's
private player.
He's been playing since 16.
And they played with 39 points.
Well done, Devon. Playing the kids, keep winning.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
They're
Play
genuine,
the kids. We
They're
love it.
genuine. On what I've seen so far, they are a genuine top 5 side at the moment, Devon. Which probably not
this
many
is-
people had them in there at the
this is
start
what
of the year.
They were a genuine
the
top
great-
5 last year.
Yeah, but this is great. They're going to be, to be honest, they're probably going to finish near on the same position as what they have finished, and I would guess that
Last 2
list
years.
is spending a lot less. That's the point. That is the point. You don't have to go and spend all this money because your result was shit house anyway, Devon.
That's right.
You didn't win it.
When the time
Play the
counted.
kids. So this is sustainable now for 10 years. You can do this for the next 10 years if you
Junior
get it right.
footy club's going
Yep,
well, I hear.
Exactly.
So it's good.
That's good. Happy for them.
No, very good, boys. That is a wrap for what was round 4. Let's jump straight into round 5, a full round of football that's going to be played across the division.
So is that
1,
round 6?
2.
What round are we looking at now?
5.
So we're on round 5 now. Sleepy Joe,
Righto.
you with us?
All over the job.
Okay,
Very
let's
hard
go. 10th of May to be played out, and the first game off the rank is going to be your boys.
it's a big game.
Gammers,
It is
taking
now.
on Chelsea. This is a huge game.
Yeah, well, it doesn't get much bigger. We had a different type of session yesterday to just diagnose some of the issues that are going on. It wasn't a Red Hill session by any stretch, but just realigning ourselves and the behaviours that are required to back up the words. So, yeah, we're expecting to go to Chelsea. I think Chelsea's coach was hanging around our huddle on Saturday. So,
Dave.
Yeah, he had
Give me this one.
Did he?
so he won't have to do much research during the week.
Exactly.
But no, we're up for that. We
Of course
I think
you
we
are.
played 5 games there in my time, not all against Chelsea, obviously because of finals, and I think we're 4-1. So
yeah,
we
right.
don't mind going up there,
It's,
even though it's a tiny ground.
yeah, it's a similar shape to your. It's a
It
funny
is
sort of ground. It's a,
Have they got that end too now?
no,
They've got that. They've
Chelsea
got the
have got
rich
a,
end. They've got the rich inheritance end.
but have they?
The inheritance end.
I think it's all gone.
It's all
Bought some real estate.
Exactly.
Put all the houses up around them.
Yeah, something like that. I was just going to ask, Cam, is the issues, are you thinking, you mentioned about the pressure, and I'm talking about my boys about that. The reality is, unless you bring immense pressure and you give teams time on the footy, you are cooked.
Yeah, and
So
I
that-
think it gives you a good picture of effort and whether your boys are on. Like, so people watch our boys warm up and they go, "Oh, gee, they warmed up well today," and I go, "Yeah, they'll probably play shit."
Yeah.
And then sometimes they'll warm up like shit, and we'll go, "Fuck, we don't know what we're going to get here,"
Yep.
and then they play amazing.
Yeah.
I knew in the first quarter that we were nowhere. We'd put some things in place and they just weren't working.
Yeah.
We were scoring,
Yep.
but it was either
Yeah, it was
win or
messy.
lose, win or lose centre square
Yeah,
bounce,
yeah,
no
yeah.
defence, no
Yeah.
tackle, and we like the game to be played in a different way because we back in our fitness. We've done a really big pre-season and, we all want to play that team football, but pressure is a big pillar of ours, and there was zero pressure in that game.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So we've got to tidy that up.
If Devon are young and quick, it's hard to pressure if you can't catch them, isn't it?
Yeah, look, I just think we're just a bit off.
Yeah.
We're young and fast too,
Yeah.
so I just think it's an application thing. Like, it's a mindset to put pressure on. Like, we sell it all the time. That there's no player in the comp really that can deal with hard pressure in your face. You're
Yeah.
more chance of making him make a mistake than just sitting off. So we're a come forward side, and we just didn't come forward.
Yeah.
And then when that didn't work, instead of trying to go a bit harder, we panicked,
Yep.
including the coaching group, to be fair. We threw the magnets up in the air a little bit, Kevin Shetty style, which I've never done in my life.
Mhm.
But that's probably how bad we were going.
Yeah, right.
So, I'd expect a response this
Yeah,
week.
that's a nice one.
Yeah,
Good
good.
work.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Be tipping somebody then.
Yeah, I think he might bounce.
Yeah,
It's
I
not-
think
and it's
He's
not
got a
for
bit of
Chelsea.
fire in the belly,
Yeah,
game.
absolutely. Look at him. Look at
That's it.
him.
I looked last week too. I was like, that's fucking steam coming out me.
And
ears.
it's not the Chelsea of last year either, is it?
No, it's not.
So they've
It doesn't
far
appear.
more gettable.
It doesn't appear to be. No, it doesn't
What
appear.
was
to
it, Spook? Yeah. The old,
He's still recovering from the grand final.
yeah,
Well done.
clearly. Devon Meadows taking on Karingal at
could be-
Glover
This
Reserve.
could be really messy.
Oh, it's going to be really messy.
Really messy.
No, Devon Meadows for me.
Could be 150
Chip
pointer.
might break the record. He might
Yeah.
kick 20 goals.
Is he playing again this week?
Well, it's hard to know. He wasn't named. There's another gap in the system. He wasn't named, but then when he rocked up to do media, we knew he was playing. So I
He
don't
wasn't
know.
there turning sausages, was he?
Well, you hear different stories whether he's going to play 7, 5. I think it depends on what Gold Coast Suns are doing with their AFL fixture. If he's here, he'll play. If he's not, he won't.
Right,
So
right.
if you want to really know, you have a look at that. But
Yeah, sure.
if you take care of the game in the middle, it doesn't really matter, does it?
Devon by a poultice.
Yeah, that's
The
going to be.
scoreboard might actually
Feel for Berkey and
fry.
Karingal. To back up each week, get to training, you get your head
Oh,
smashed
brutal.
in. Not
Brutal.
fun. Not fun. So I hope they can just compete for a while, take the little wins along the way.
Just on that, Devon Meadows and Frawley, who fucking cares? Just come out and say that he's signed for 7 games, and these are the games to give people the opportunity, if they're old Hawthorn supporters, to get down there and watch their, one of their, like you said, he wasn't a superstar, but he still played 200 games of AFL football.
Yep.
What's the secret? Like, come on, we need to be better. The next game to take place is Hastings taking on Crib Point down at Hastings Club. This is going to be a cracking game, and it'll test every little bit of what Kevin's been doing down at
good
Hastings. And Crib Point are going to take this and go, this is going to be an easy game, but I don't think it's going to be smooth.
I reckon Hastings might nearly get a win here.
I reckon they might too. I reckon they're going to look at this game, Commish, as a winnable. And I know Sass over in the
Could be a
jungle
tough
in
going,
Thailand is going to be absolutely going Crib Point all the
He's gonna
way.
be a cocoa banana.
He's going to be cocoa bananas, pardon the pun. But, Hastings, I'm going to go Hastings in a really close one. I don't mind
Let's
them
go,
here.
Kev.
Yeah, let's
Yeah, I
go,
don't
Kev.
mind it.
Fire
Big
up.
one for the good
Yeah,
blokes.
let's go.
Fire up.
Let's
Another
go.
good game down further south is going to be RJ Rowley Reserve. Rye taking on Bomb Beach. This is going to be a good one too, and also gettable gammers for Rye, I reckon.
Yeah, I believe Rye win this game. I think it'll be a goal all day. The only thing I'll say is if Bomb Beach's top-tier talent, a la the Peckets, really
Yeah.
get going, that
Yep.
might cause Rye some
Yep.
problems. But if they can shut those guys down and play the next 16 or next 20 versus 20, then I reckon it'll be a cracking game. So, yeah, I think Rye could pinch it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
Rye for me,
yeah,
down
go
RJ
Rye.
Rowley Reserve.
Absolutely.
The sun's going to be shining. The deck will be loud as it always is, and I reckon there's an not necessarily an upset, Commish, but
Bonnie are improving,
yeah, they are.
and they'll continue to do so on
Well
Saturday.
coached.
Do we know if like
Yeah,
Gammers? Can
okay.
you tell if the Picket boys are playing or?
I wouldn't know yet. It's all around VFL selection, but
Yeah,
they
that's
seem to be
right.
on the outer at Sandy. So
Yep.
I'd say they're playing. They played last
Yeah.
two.
Yep.
Um,
Handy.
yeah, they changed the complexion of that side. I mean, I watched them play Chelsea last week, and if they had taken their chances, they probably would have been even at half time. So, yeah, they make a difference. They've got a couple of good key position players. Bomb Beach, I think their captain, Hulit, is it?
Yeah, big boy.
Hulit, he's
Yep.
a good
He
target
is a good
for
boy.
them. If Bomb Beach play to their potential, they should win. But funny things have happened.
They
and
just seem to be just improving,
Yeah.
just incrementally.
yeah. I
But
think
yeah, it's on
that-
Rye's home
I
day.
went. So this doesn't mean much, but my daughter played juniors at Rye on the weekend. The place has changed. The feeling's changed.
It
Like
has.
there's a bit of a buzz
No,
there
you're
now.
right.
It used
Yeah,
to
righto.
be a bit of a cemetery there,
Yeah, it was.
and now even the junior club's rising.
That's
so
good.
I
Okay.
I
Yeah,
think
great.
they're
Yeah.
building.
Excellent.
Yeah, no, I agree. I love it. Loved seeing it, and look forward to what the future brings for the Rye Football Netball Club. The next game is Tyab taking on Seaford at Bungayan Reserve down in the pond in Tyab.
Come on, Jimmy.
Yeah, come on, Jimmy. Jimmy, we
Lift.
need
Give
something
us a bag and
from
get a win.
you.
Seaford are sneaking up on us.
Yeah, no,
They're sitting third in the ladder.
I don't know
Very,
if they're
very young
sneaking.
group.
A very young group.
Very
And they're
talented
just-
group.
We don't talk about Seaford very much.
No, I
we
know.
never get
but
anyone
I
in
don't
from
know.
Seaford.
I think
do
Gammers,
that.
you sort of put Seaford up there, don't you? Like they have been coming for a while. They're doing some great things down there.
They're very even. I think if you go back through their draw, it probably tells you a little bit more about the story. So they've lost one game. That was to Crib Point. The Chelsea win's huge. The Chelsea win's massive. Like
Yeah.
that's a great result. We kill for that this weekend.
Yeah.
They're even young and playing a brand. They're a
Yeah.
high handball team, which obviously
Yep.
Rowan
Yep.
Bleak has brought from Dramana.
How does that go against?
Well, I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it against pressure.
Yep.
You invite the pressure when you over handball,
Yep.
which we just found out in the weekend. So, the jury's still out on Seaford. If they have
Kennedy,
improved,
Kelly.
they go down to the pond and win big.
Yep. Good call.
Harry Bowl,
So
ex-premiership player.
what's
Yeah,
big?
I like him.
10?
I think anywhere from 60 to 100.
Yeah.
Lockie Ord. They've got
Yeah.
some players.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
injury concerns at Tyab. A lot. I actually
Well,
don't think.
Jimmy, you're not injured. Fuck.
I don't
Is
think
he?
Tyab's list is that
No,
bad.
he's not.
No, it's
Honestly?
not. No, it's
Really?
not.
But they've got so many out,
Yeah.
and I actually feel for them a bit. Like they are really trying, but
How's
they've
the
had
big
rotten
ruckman?
luck.
Is he playing the big ruck?
I believe he's injured as
Yeah,
well,
okay,
and
geez.
that's massive.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
massive for them.
totally.
Like I speak to their coach every now and again because he's a great
He's a good
fella. They're a best 22 side, and when they've got 10 missing, it's bloody tough.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
we find it tough when Mason doesn't play.
Oh, yeah,
That's
no,
one.
no.
They got 8 or 9.
But this has been a pattern down their Gammers for the last
It
2 or
has.
3
And
years. They're
I
doing their fucking heading.
commission-
So, but is this a conditioning
That's
thing
right.
pre-season?
How long does he need? Like I think last year,
Yeah.
Tyab showed
No, I
a little
agree,
bit.
mate.
Is it a
Totally
holistic
agree.
thing?
We've been
Tyab
talking
showed
about
improvement
Tyab
last
this
year.
Yeah.
I thought, like,
Yep.
we still potted them,
Yep.
but they were better.
Yep.
Like, we beat them up pretty bad early in the year, and then we only beat them by a goal later in the year. They beat Devon later in the year, Tyab, which they do
Yeah.
quite often.
Yeah.
I think Haberfield,
They do.
Haberfield needs 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, they
Yeah.
come from a long way back.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Tyab have been hovering around the middle of the ladder. Like,
No.
He needs time. I think he's brought a lot in, and he's had rotten
Yeah,
luck.
okay.
That's,
Yep.
But
Yep. He'll get
they'll
there.
struggle this week.
Yeah, agree.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, no, they will. Seaford for me, comfortably. And the halftime heroes selection table match of the round, we have chosen Frankston Bombers taking on Pearcedale. This is going to be epic. Don't you worry about that. Frankston Bombers flying at the moment. Some saying they're flag favourites, but I reckon Pearcedale might have something to say about that, Spook.
Great game of footy. This is going to give everyone a real good look at how if Bombers are that far ahead or whether they're sort of just thereabouts. Because if they belt Pearcedale, well, they're heavy favourites, aren't they?
Yeah, yep.
The interesting, if Snyder plays, if he's back, that makes a big difference,
It
of
does.
course, because he's a prolific ball winner, and the battle will be won. Normally, whoever wins the midfield wins the battle, but this game is going to be won in the front half of either team. The Bombers' front half's exceptional. We've got great tools, Khan, Jared, some really good players in blocking, and some other blokes. Wilson Fletcher goes through half forward, good players. So their forward line is very good. It's the back line, and I'll say this again, it is the backs of the Frankston Bombers that could be the Achilles heel against Pearcedale, because Pearcedale's front half is ridiculous.
Going to be able to keep up Cruz and those guys.
Yeah, you got Cruz West,
Yeah.
Brett Eddy,
Luke
Very
Daniel.
cool.
Luke Daniel. You got some really good players, and I'll say it again. There is some Bombers players back there that just don't want to defend, and if they roll out there and think they're going to freewheel and get kicks against a really slick forward line, well, that could be what happens.
So,
Pearcedale
Spook,
might get a hold of them.
you've it's no secret that you've had a lot of involvement with the Frankston Bombers. You go down to Pearcedale Thursday night, and what are you telling them?
I'd be trying to isolate a few of the blokes that in the Bombers' backs and try and go through their player.
Yep.
That the blokes that I don't think particularly defend that well or want to. So every club does this. I mean, gamers would look through a vision. Look, where can you get into the team? So that's what I'll be trying to do. They've got a couple of young blokes back there, Bombers, which are gettable, I think. So you'd isolate them as much as you can, and just try to limit the damage around the middle. Khan's going to get a look. Jared's going to get a look, no doubt. That's just what happens at the other end. If you get it in your front half and keep it in there. Bombers are a big C-shaped team. They like the C-shape and bring it back through corridor where they can. So if you can shut that down, hold it in your front half, and put them under a bit of pressure, it'd be interesting.
Well, it's the two best forward lines by quite a way when you look at the fors and against. And Pearcedale's defence is probably about the sixth best defence, and Frankston are the best defence. There's a bit to do with draw in that.
Oh, of course, they've played no one.
They've played Coringal, Bomb Beach, Hastings, and Crib Point.
No one.
So this is the
That's what I'm
first
saying.
real
Yep,
test.
this is the test.
This
And
is the
this-
first
and this
real
is-
test. They've been able to bully those four teams.
Which is as you would. But and they could come out and belt them. Who knows? But I think it'll be a really close game.
Yeah, I do too.
I think it might
Be
be
a good
close as
game.
well.
Be a good. It's
I
dry.
think-
Dry. It's going to be fast and furious and nice, beautiful day.
How's the ruck at Pearcedale? How's the
Hugh
ruck?
Jones, well, he dominated us. We didn't have a ruck.
Yeah, that's
Look,
a good point.
I think
Yeah.
Harry will get hold of him.
Yeah, he's good. Harry's a superstar. Harry's the only bloke I've seen. He
Really
pants
get
Billy
hold of
good. Harry has pants Billy a couple of times, and you just don't do that.
And they're only
Yeah.
one ruck.
Okay. Yeah, but the bloke that goes in the second ruck for Bombers, he's not much job. So don't worry about that.
Gee, 1v2.
I reckon I could beat him in the ruck.
So
No,
there'll be
there's a huge percentage. One's on 150, one's on 300, but they
Yeah,
played
that's
no one.
because of the
They
200.
played no one. Whereas
the
Cribbing's had a
200
hard. Pearcedale's had a hard run.
That's
Well,
the
Pearcedale's
200
played
point win.
us. They've played Devon,
Devon,
Bonnie, and one other.
Much
Oh,
better
yeah.
preparation going into a big game.
100%.
If Snyder plays, I think Pearcedale win. Because you're going to need to have a midfielder getting it 35 to 38 times. As I know, the midfielder Bombers can leak some stoppages and leak some touches. They won't sit on him. You just go head-to-head, maybe flexing him, go head-to-head. If Snyder plays, I think they win.
Is Flex
Pearcedale.
back?
I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
Flex is
Flex
He-
back.
he'd be just, he's a big in. I mean, if he plays,
He's
that's
huge.
massive. He's a big
If he
strong.
comes back in right.
Yeah, he's had a
Yeah.
hammy, so he would have done some work. He's a
Yeah.
professional when he gets an injury.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, it'd be a good battle. But if Snyder plays, Pearcedale win.
Snides plays, Pearcedale wins.
Where's it at? Is it Pearcedale?
Frankston.
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 They played a final there, Pearcedale, the other year. They know the ground. They've played a final there, haven't they?
Yeah. Pearcedale, I reckon they might get over them. Look, I reckon this is
Yeah,
the real.
yeah.
I
no,
reckon
I
they
agree.
might too. I've
Real
just got a
test.
feeling that Frankston
Great
Bombers might they might struggle to score. Struth, I don't know. I'm going to
Yeah.
go Pearcedale and upset.
Yeah.
Well, is it a big upset though? Who knows? Let's see.
Yes, it is because
Yeah.
it's at Frankston.
Yep.
You know, a sports better to have Frankston at
That-
$1.50.
I know internally this will be, the Bombers boys will be right up for it. I know
yeah.
they'd want to
Yeah.
flex their muscles, no question. So it's going to be a great game.
Well, this
It'll be
is-
a good game.
They want to be
is-
tested.
Yeah, they-
This is a statement game for Frankston. If you want to yo-yo back up, this is the one you win.
Yeah.
You put a
Yeah,
gap
you
between
beat
the rest of the
second
comp,
team. Yeah.
and you make all of us go, well, oh,
Yeah.
And you win and you win convincingly.
Yeah. Nah, that's good. Very good
Great game
from
of
you,
footy.
Gammers. I like that. And that's a wrap for Division 2 football. Wow. We've got a huge round of football coming up that's going to be played in round 5 on Saturday, the 10th of May. That is a wrap. As I mentioned, we're going to take a quick break. We've got Spook Soapbox. Oh, I'm a little bit worried. I might, but I'm worried. I'm fucking petrified, to be honest. And
the way
then
we
the
like
wrap. And then the wrap. You're listening and watching the Halftime Heroes.
Nestled on the beautiful Mornington Peninsula, Sharmac Lodge offers a peaceful 6-bedroom retreat in Rye for short-term stays for adults of all ages living with disability or illness. Overnight or day stays are available 7 days a week with tailored care provided around the clock. Guests can also participate in daily activities on the peninsula, making it a perfect getaway. Rest easy knowing your loved one's care is personalised to their needs. Finally, a short-term respite solution that brings peace of mind and can be funded under your home care package or NDIS funding. Book a tour today with the welcoming team at Sharmac Lodge. Visit aftercare.com.au or search Sharmac Lodge today. Let their family help your family.
Welcome back to the Halftime Heroes. Well, I think it's confirmed I'm fucked. It's now time for Spook Soapbox. Get on that box, Spook. What do you got?
Thanks, Adam. Just, we've had you've an emotional bloke you spoke about last week. Your son JK played his first game of the season, which was great.
Absolutely.
Got a bit injured. He went back. He missed a week, unfortunately, and then he come back. He come straight back into the seniors, which is great. He trained well, and going into his second game, it's a big game for the club.
Huge
and I'm
game.
standing around and looking for Adam. Where's Adam? No father. You went to the fucking Collingwood game rather than watching your own son play. You are banned from Bayswater from now on. You were not allowed in to watch that shit mob run around.
Don't
you
look
lost,
at me
and
like
you
that.
lost, and you lost. So JK,
Shameful.
he's fucking banned. That's terrible, Adam.
Shame. We don't
Disgraceful.
care.
Rip up the
We don't
membership.
care.
No,
do we?
no,
That's horrific.
it. We're charging you triple to get in.
But Collingwood lost.
That's it. That's
Yes.
karma. Exactly right.
And it was a trip too. Well, it slipped down. It was a trip.
All for
the
it.
trip.
When it was a trip.
Mate.
It was a trip. Was it below the net?
It wasn't it.
It was
I'm
it
telling
slipped
you.
down to below. And when he fell,
Here we go. The one
I
on. But
can tell.
JK,
Definition of a trip.
I'll support you, JK. Don't worry about your old man. I'll get
he's as weak as piss.
absolutely Collingwood bad wagon.
It was a corporate box.
What were you
And
thinking?
it was,
What were you thinking when Crispy takes the mark? Are you thinking this is just too good to be true? Fairy tale.
I knew.
You know what I was
I
thinking?
knew he couldn't do it.
Surely someone's got it when he's having to kick a goal, just stand on the mark and go like this.
Well, you can't
Stand,
throw anything.
stand,
You can't
stand.
do it. You can't.
You can't do it. Stand.
You can't. You get.
Well, how's what didn't
through a thing
what
of
did you
mud.
see the Wiz? The Wiz the
Yeah.
other
Oh,
day.
he was on this one?
He did it to the
I love him.
crowd.
He's great.
Yeah,
No,
he's,
he's
he's,
good.
he's good for football.
He's
no,
a superstar.
okay, no, I deserve that whack, but
Yeah,
I was
fucking oath you
I
do.
was invited to.
Oh, were you?
By
be
well,
tough life.
hey, look, if to be honest, we'd be out in the street. I was invited by the CEO of Ace Radio Network.
Fair enough.
And I appreciate their input and letting us use the studio. But no, you're right. I need to be better. It was his first win, and as a senior player, and the whole club need to be applauded because it was a great win across both the Roos in reserves.
Absolutely.
And well done to you, Bix, and of course Spook just doing a fine job down there. Well respected
Okay,
member.
suck it up now.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Too
You're
late now, Adam, you fucking creep.
What a creep!
Have a
Hey,
look.
have a listen to him. Suck it up. Oh, he's doing a fine job.
God.
It's so fine.
Fucking oath. Good on.
He's
all
it's pathetic, isn't it?
It's getting personal. Yeah.
What's going on? Gee, well, you've been hanging on to something for a while.
Yeah, okay.
Tell me what you really
Okay,
think.
thanks. I feel better now.
Hey, that's
I've
it.
been
Let it go, Neil.
meaning to say
Let it
that for a
go.
while.
Yeah,
No, but this is good. This
Yeah,
is
let
good.
it
Do you know
go.
why? Because old fossil dick isn't here next week.
Yeah.
So you're going to cop it.
Oh,
Needs to take a
man.
fucking night off
Okay.
because he's looking after the grandkids.
Well,
you kidding
let's
me,
see.
aren't you?
You go look after him. I'm,
Mate,
I'm more than happy to come in here.
I think it'd be a good
It's a
show.
darn sight easier.
Bring him in. It'd be a good show.
Oh,
Hey,
there'd be
oh.
shit everywhere. The camera would be upside down and the bloody...
No, well, they can just
No,
hang out in the jungle gym out the back with Sus. Sus can go
Oh,
out there
my
and play
I would
with all
not
the
take
jungle
your
gym.
children anywhere
No.
near Peter Sasovich. Absolutely not.
Again.
He
He could
said
get
that
hungry.
he's
Hey?
You might get hungry.
he said that he's gone. Just
Two
eat
bits of
them.
bread. Hey, where's me tea roll?
In a hot dog roll. A big hot dog roll. Just pick out.
Sorry, what?
No, he did say too that his breast reduction went really well. He's gone from a double D to a B, so he's very, very happy with that
God.
as well. Just getting a little bit of nip and tuck over there in Thailand
Yeah,
as
sorry,
well.
I do need to miss next week. It's very important.
No, it
I-
is.
I-
It is
I
very
can't-
important.
Just can't do
Very
it. Just have
important.
to-
No, that's fair enough, mate. My father-in-law just passed away, and I'm
Yes.
here, and
No,
that's
no.
well, yeah, that's
Oh,
okay
well.
though, isn't it?
Got him.
My kids are at home missing their grandfather, and you need to look after
really
them.
running it in.
One of your fucking kids isn't talking to you, mate. Because you didn't
No,
go
I
to his
spent all
footy
day.
game.
I spent all day with him actually.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Would have been a very
His
quiet,
grandfather. Oh, it was very
looking at
quiet.
the- yeah.
It was very quiet,
What'd you
mate.
do?
We're
Ask
all
him-
in. We're all in
ask him how-
tears.
Ask him how he went.
Pardon?
Did you ask him how he
Played
went?
No,
well.
he showed
He
me.
played
He
well.
showed me his highlight reel about
Did he?
13 times. Don't you worry about that. He loves it. No, he loves it. Showed me.
Well
He
done.
sent me his stats. No, he's loving it. He's
Good stuff,
absolutely
Luke. Good
loving
one.
it. Just he's still got to build that confidence. He still
He's
thinks
good.
he's
Yeah,
an
mate.
imposter.
Nah, he's
No,
he's
I
doing
know,
all right.
but he's got to
Yeah.
build his
Yeah, he
confidence. So
does.
you're on notice, boy.
Come from
we're
a-
all
Well, I tell you, when your father doesn't rock up to watch you, it's hard to be confident.
He comes from a long line
My
of
dad doesn't ever
imposters.
like me.
Exactly. What happened? I
Don't
got?
you fucking start again.
Hey? A long line of imposters.
Yeah.
It's in
Well,
the blood.
No, well, I'm fucked up here because the whole family's going this week, and if I'm getting charged double, it's going to cost me $230 to go to the football.
Oh, yeah.
I reckon you set up a banner for him at the
Yeah,
gate.
and then run through it.
He's here.
Everyone's, that's the one, Adam. Absolutely.
You shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I like that. Good gammers.
Very good. It's always fun. We've got the when we've got the crew in board here at 3MP Studios. Again, thank you to 3MP. Well, that is a wrap from the Halftime Heroes. Of course, well, what a get for the coach's corner. He enjoyed the
Oh, it was
cone.
different. It's
great.
He enjoyed the cone of
We like
silence.
different.
Did Blake Jackson, the Frankston Blues superstar, and the Josh Giddy Dominator. That's what we're calling him. We're all going to wear
Owned him.
t-shirts.
He
Didn't have
owned
to
him.
come down very far when he's 6'6". It's just
No,
up
I know.
here.
Well, the commission
He was
boy.
only you saw the photo. He's only that much taller.
Big boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big boy, 6'8".
Crazy.
6'8". Nearly had to duck through the doorway there. So
Yeah.
that's a big unit.
And he would slip through the crack if it was.
I
He's a slippery.
know. No, I know.
Gets
No
in-
wonder he's got fucking weak ankles. He's carrying bloody 6'7".
Yeah. Yeah, correct.
I've heard some are after him, so
Yeah. Bayswater contract here on here.
Yeah, the contract's under there, pre-signed and everything. Well, thanks to you, Gammers. Thanks so much, mate, making it
pleasure as
out
always.
on
Love
midweek.
this.
Kamish, thank you to you.
Thanks, Adam. We hope your week gets better, mate. As
Nah,
you
it
go
will,
through it next-
absolutely.
go through
Well,
next
it
week,
gets
fine.
worse and then it gets better, of course,
Good
doesn't
stuff,
it?
mate.
Thanks to you,
No
Spook.
worries,
Always a
Adam.
pleasure,
Thanks for
mate,
having me, mate.
getting
Good to be
you
back.
inbound. Absolutely.
And you're not a creep.
And you
You're just a little bit.
You get, and you
creepy.
confirmed
Creepy
next
from
week.
time to
Yeah, I'll be in. Bloody
Confirmed
oath.
next week in Suss's Garage. Of course, Gammers,
Come
you
and
are
celebrate
back.
Gammers' win and
No,
our win. And
absolutely.
Me and Eliza will be back on board. We'll be winners.
Yep.
And hopefully Collingwood will lose, but we were wrapped.
Well, no, what was your week?
Jeez.
No, you said it.
Wrapped. Essendon, Carlton lost, Collingwood lost, Baseball to 1. What a great. And Menelaus
Menelaus
lost.
lost.
Perfect weekend.
Soft.
That is a wrap from the Halftime Heroes. We hope you've enjoyed it. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Welcome to Halftime Heroes with the latest sports news from around the Mornington Peninsula. With Adam Kelly, Peter Susevich, Neil